It took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
Did you know that the Chevy Suburban, well, here is a 2001 model, is the longest running, continuously selling automotive nameplate of all time? The first Suburban came out in 1935. And here, well, we're not here for a total history lesson. This is old versus new. This 2001 Suburban belongs to David and his family. And I also brought a 2022 high country, very, very luxurious Suburban to compare the two at Tumbleweed Ranch. So, hey, David.
Hey, Andre.
Hey, dude. So this belongs to your family, right?
Yeah, this is not my first Suburban.
Okay.
Not my first rodeo. I've had 3 of them.
Okay.
I had the square body, you know, from the 80s.
Yes.
And then we had the OBS, the GMT 400.
Yes.
And had that for a number of years. And then this one my dad bought in 2001.
Uh-huh.
He passed it on to our family and had this one since new.
So this, you know the history of this machine.
I know everything about this Suburban.
And how many miles?
This one has 296,400.
Almost 300,000
Almost 300,000 miles.
So this is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. It's been the American staple, the longest running nameplate, right?
There's a reason for
But
it.
why?
Because it's the right size.
It's big size.
Well, it's big, but it's not too big. I mean,
right,
you still
well,
park it.
okay.
But you can fit 4 boys in all the gear and travel the country and not feel cramped.
Exactly, and that's why you've been buying Suburbans.
Exactly.
Okay, so well, how about this? How about we show some of the features of this?
Okay.
Talk about your you know, how it's been as a vehicle.
Yeah.
And then I want to show you this.
That's
and let's
beautiful.
run them a little bit through Andre's pit
Okay, sure,
here
why
at
not?
Tumbleweed Ranch.
Yeah.
So let's look at the side. So the magic behind the Suburban, like you said, has always been just comfort, right? It's
Well,
huge.
How many seats, too?
Well,
You
3
can
rows.
seat 8 or 9 comfortably, right?
So here's what I want to get to.
Yeah.
Because the Suburban, of course, started out as a truck back in the 30s.
Just on a frame.
with a body.
Same axles.
Yes.
Everything.
And then over time, it's slowly kind of progressed to become more comfortable, right? But also, it's almost turning into kind of a crossover in a way.
It's a luxury vehicle. It's no longer a pickup.
Well, we'll talk about it over
Yeah.
there. But you could get a bench seat back in the day,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right? And of course, just simplicity and V8 power, right?
Well, and a lot of the parts were interchangeable with pickups for so many years, but
Yeah.
not anymore. I mean, you could change the seat out with a pickup truck seat for so many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, the size, it's just so big and comfortable and roomy, and
Yeah.
you can fold the seats down and sleep in the back.
Totally. And you also use it for work once in a while.
Yeah, you have to see
Well,
what's inside here
okay.
right now.
So you could seat 8 or 9 people.
Yeah.
This is a kind of an 8.
8, yeah.
Or you can bring tools.
And 2x4s and plumbing supplies,
Yeah.
and still seat 3 people.
So that's the part of the secret, right?
Yeah, and that's why I love having it, because it's so versatile. It just does everything, does it well, does it cheaply. The miles on this are probably the cheapest miles of any vehicle I've ever owned.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't have great gas mileage. But here, let me give you an example.
Sure.
So I went to Husker Harvest Days with Alex.
Okay.
This was my choice vehicle.
That's
okay?
your commuter.
I drove.
road trip.
I drove to Grand Island, Nebraska.
Okay.
Going there, I got 19.3.
Really?
Coming home, I got 18.5. That's
Okay.
just me. Nothing
Sure,
else in
sure.
there. My bed.
But
I
that's-
slept in the back, so I saved myself a hotel room. I've had a full-size memory foam bed in the back. So I mean, how cheap?
So it's your overland vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be any cheaper than that, right?
Sweet. So let's open the back because it also has barn doors.
Does. And I like the tailgate style too, but barn doors seem to be
Oh, I see what you mean by supplies.
right. I brought plumbing supplies and 2x4s for the barn today here at Tumbleweed.
Yeah. So basically, but you can imagine, right? You have a third rows of seat that you could put in. And this formula has been around, like we said, for decades.
And they have switched it out, so I don't think that the rear seat actually comes out now. Does yours come out in your new one?
No,
Or does
it folds
fold
into the
down?
floor. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's convenience. Although I feel like you get more space by pulling the seat out
And also less weight.
and less
right?
weight.
You're
Yeah,
removing the weight.
Yeah. And so we take, nowadays, with the seats out a lot of the time, but it's nice when I get the grandkids, I put it back in pretty easy.
All right. And what's under the hood? Is it a 5.3 or 5.7?
It's a 5.3.
5.3.
So as you remember, when they switched from the OBS, the GMT 400 to the GMT 800,
Yeah.
they quit making the 5.7 and started making the 5.3. So this has one of the original 5.3s.
You know, they still have the 5.3. I mean, it's
I
been
know.
upgraded, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, the power difference is huge now. However, I will say, this thing still cruises the highway at whatever speed you want to go comfortably. It just doesn't get up and go like yours does.
I'm impressed by what you said, also on the road trip, right? 19 mpg is something a modern Suburban would be proud to say.
Right.
So-
And this is the original motor, original transmission, believe it or not.
4-speed?
It's a 4-speed.
Okay.
The 60, right? E?
Yeah, I think 4L60 maybe.
4L60.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 65. I think
Okay.
it's a 60. It's original. I think the only new parts, we've got new starter, new alternator, new battery.
And look,
I don't-
this works.
Yeah.
Everything kind of works.
I think it's original injectors. My mechanic's got everything on this, so I could find out exactly what we've done to it over the years, but it's not much.
Yeah, like you didn't have to replace like heads or injectors or
Nothing
transmission
big.
replacements.
No, it's brakes, it's tires, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
like I said, starter was the last one.
Alrighty. Well, so let's see how it does Andre Spit really quick.
Okay.
Maybe we can run it through.
See,
And-
it does have a little damage.
Well,
So Julie, my wife, she hit a deer,
Oh,
and that's
and
all.
that was all the damage?
That's all that happened.
It must have been a low speed collision.
It's like at 35 miles an hour, but
Jeez.
I mean, that's the nice thing about having a chrome bumper.
Yeah.
You know, none of this plastic stuff. But it did take the chrome plastic off of there. And also got one other problem that just happened recently.
Oh, let's show me.
Yeah, this was like 3-4 weeks ago. The window came off the mechanism.
Of the mechanism.
And so it
is
no
it
longer-
powered?
Yeah, it's a power window.
Power
but
window.
The power is working inside there, but the window doesn't do anything.
Okay.
So I need to take the whole door panel off.
And check it out.
But I mean, it's
if
got
that's-
300,000 miles on it. You know, something's got to go wrong.
But I also want to point this out. These are known sometimes for like the bolsters on the seats to wear out a lot. These seats, but yours has held up. Have you changed this?
No, that's original. Now,
Okay.
if you'd have had leather seats, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
And also this truck, call it a truck because it is,
Yeah.
has been in the garage its whole life.
So
the
that's
sun
why the
doesn't-
paint. That's why the
Yeah.
paint is nice.
Yeah. If it had been in the sun, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. All right. So let's run it through the Andre Spit really quick, and then let me show you the new one.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's way out of my price range, but I still can dream.
So you know I had that 2002 Silverado heavy duty,
I do.
almost identical.
Yep.
You know, the dash,
Yep.
the center console. I think the seats were identical. Even like the visors and everything
Yeah.
like that.
All right.
All right, let's fire this up and put it in 4 low.
All right, go 4 low. She's flashing.
I think it had to be in neutral. Don't you?
You would know better than I do. There we go.
Solid light.
Good.
And look at the miles.
296, 403.
That's really solid. I'm
Yeah.
really happy.
And pretty much my wife, myself, or my dad put them all on there.
Sweet. All right, what do you say? Let's do some logs for traction
Okay.
and
Yeah.
trenches to see if you have a G80.
Yeah, I don't know if I do or
Okay,
not,
okay.
actually. So let's
Let's-
find out. Okay.
Yeah. Andre's Pit, here we come.
Here we come, Andre. I love being down in your pit.
Well, thank you. But by the way, this is not really my pit. I mean, my name is on it. But you did the grunt work
I did. I
to
put
move the rocks and the logs and all this stuff.
every rock, every log, every hole.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You work too much.
Yeah, the boss made me work on this.
All right, so let's do the logs to see how the traction works.
Okay.
I hope your wife is okay with this, by the way.
Oh yeah. She's fine. She'll just say, if you wreck my car, you buy me another one.
There you go. Another Suburban.
Another Suburban. All right, so
nice and easy.
So I could feel the front end, tighten up a little bit, being in 4-low.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So I'm trying to take it easy.
And that's when you go slowly, it's the hardest.
It is that bump right there.
Have you done like shocks replacements and all that stuff?
I got a feeling I did. I can't remember doing them, but I think I probably did shocks on it. And of course, I only run Michelins.
Only Michelin.
I'm a Michelin guy. Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
I've just had such
So
good luck with it.
I don't think you spun a tire.
No, I could have gone faster, but I mean,
it's not about speed. It's about traction, right?
That's true.
Well, all right. Let's make it more challenging. Let's do the trenches, which is one of the most challenging parts of this.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have to replace transmissions on these early, and I think a lot of that has to do with driving style.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a pretty easy driver, and my wife is too. You don't start off like you're racing.
You're not like racing at stoplights?
Yeah, and so it's had most of its miles, because we live in the country, so a lot of its miles are out in the country. So
and like slowish, high 45, 55, right?
Yeah, and starting off easy. So I've nursed this transmission for a long time, and it's still...
And it shows.
It's still doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't slip or anything.
That's amazing. Well, how about this? In the next 21 years from now, can we do another video with that truck?
That would be fun.
We should do that.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Ooh!
Already we're stopped here. Oh, there one. I do have a G80. What do you know?
G80, they still make that.
It has to, see, you got to get just enough spin. It's doing it on every hole.
Shoulder rear end. Try another one. There! And you can hear it and feel it.
Number 4. Did it 4 times.
4 times, and it worked every time.
And it's a half a second or so before she
I wonder
kicks
if
in.
you've ever used have you off-roaded this much?
Never. This baby's been on a lot of dirt roads, but never.
But
been
not like
off-road.
crawling.
No, I mean, I live on a dirt road, so it's had lots of dirt road action.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's the first time you exercised the G80.
It could be. In the snow, I'm sure.
In the snow,
probably
on the
come in
ice,
handy in
on the
snow.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But had no trouble getting over that, did it?
All right. Well, let me show you the new truck.
Let's give it a try. I'm curious to see how it does on the trenches. Holy smokes! Look at that. What is that?
What?
Is that like a spring, a coil
That's
over?
an air spring.
Oh, so it has air suspension.
Yeah.
No, that's the only spring. It's all
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, it's all air.
It's all air. And a shock.
And the shock is built into it.
No spring at all.
Right, so the weight of the vehicle is carried by the air bladder, basically.
Okay.
Look, David, we're in Colorado, and there's a little bit of Colorado here on this Suburban.
Well,
actually.
I like being high.
High country!
Yes. Now, is this the top of the line?
Yeah, they introduced this several years ago, and this is the latest iteration of it. This is the 12th gen. So your GMT 800 is a 9th gen, technically.
Okay.
This is the 12th gen over the last 87 years. So what do you think?
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, I like the lines. I do think they're pretty, although this classic one here probably will stay classic for a long time. But I do like the lines on the new ones.
Yeah, and it's I think it's huger than ever.
Well, look how tall the hood is compared to mine.
I have a secret.
Look at this. All right, so let's go over here. I don't even come to your bow tie.
I have a secret. Look underneath. Look in the wheel well here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy smoke, what is that? What's this big old aluminum thing right there?
It's my champagne chiller.
Oh, cool.
No.
You put ice in it?
No. No, it's an air spring. So it's got air suspension. So right now, the truck is sitting in an off-road height. Because I wanted to show up, macho.
No wonder it looks so tall.
Yeah, so it's a little bit in a higher position. But basically the shock and the spring are built into one kind of assembly, and it's height adjustable, and it's also very comfortable.
So is there no metal spring on
You
this?
could get them.
Oh,
you could get them,
this model.
but because this is a luxury model of it,
it's like an airbag.
Yeah, it's basically an air bladder, airbag, airbag suspension, and you can also get steel springs if you got a more basic Suburban.
And shock is inside of the air
Basically,
suspension.
yeah. So let me show you the power before we look
Okay.
at inside.
Does it look anything the same?
Maybe. I don't think it says Vortec anymore.
No.
They kind of went away from that.
No, it looks different. I mean,
No.
kind of. That kind of looks the same.
Yeah, the runners. But this is now a 6.2, but they still have the 5.3. This is the latest iteration of the engines, and there's a lot more computer stuff going on, right?
Sure.
Because there's cylinder deactivation.
Yeah.
There's the latest systems where it's round robin. It can actually select which cylinder fires and which doesn't fire.
So is that anything like back in the day when my mom was driving Cadillacs? We had the 4, 6, 8 system in Cadillac where it deactivated 2 cylinders and then 2 more. Is it anything like that, or is this completely different?
It's not quite like that. It's basically, because everything is computerized, it's injection, it can decide which one to fire or not fire, but it's more complicated than the older system.
So it's not like firing 4 cylinders.
No, it can fire 2 of them if you're cruising or going down the mountain, and can fire 3, 4, 5. So
Sounds complicated.
It is, but when it works, it's seamless.
Well, what happens when it doesn't work?
I don't know, because I've never seen it not work.
Well, see, that's my gripe about any new vehicle, especially Suburbans, because I love them, is why are they making them more complex and only getting a couple more miles to the gallon out of them? I mean, why not keep it simple?
So I think it's a good point, but it's a race between the number of features you can put inside. So the power has to go up, right?
Yeah.
So the size of the vehicle goes up, the power goes up.
They're quicker.
But
They tow better.
somehow you need to keep the efficiency.
Yeah.
And this was a solution.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
My 5.3 probably won't tow much. I mean, this probably out-tow it 3 to 1, 4 to 1, probably.
Well, this is
I'm
rated to
guessing.
like 9,000.
Yeah.
So it's not drastically different from yours. But also 10-speed.
Well,
So we went from
nice
4 speeds to 10.
to 10.
Yeah. So that's also not
You'd think it'd be a whole lot better fuel mileage, because you said it's rated at what? For
18 highway. But I can get about 19 on the highway
Can
in
you?
this. Yeah. So you would think after 21 years this would be getting like 30 mpg or it's not the
doesn't.
case. But let me show you why.
Okay, show me why. I'm curious.
Let's look inside. It still beeps.
It smells really good in here, Andre.
Well, it's brand new.
Yeah, it smells like leather.
So look at this. You see a little bit of mountains,
And the high country,
high country. It's fall time, right?
right at home.
All right, let's start this up so we don't burn up with heat.
I did bring my decibel meter.
Oh,
I bet this is a lot quieter.
yeah. And so first of all, your butt is being chilled.
Oh,
So let me turn that down because the fan is kind of loud. How about that? So turn that down. So this is what I'm talking about. They're making the interiors more luxurious, right?
yeah.
And this is called mocha.
Well, it's
mocha
and
interior.
stitched mocha.
Yeah, stitched mocha, wood. There's a cubby hole here. I'm not sure what you might maybe a small wallet. But the technology is going way up.
Well, I do like the fact that they still have dials for a lot of things, because it doesn't matter how technically advanced a vehicle is, it's still easier to grab a dial.
Yeah, and these are hard buttons, right? Can turn the temperature pretty easily. I like that too. And also here you can kind of rest your hand maybe and like select things. So there's some touches. What do you think about this though? This is the transmission.
Like the old push button.
So, you pull for D, pull for N, and then I'm out for reverse, and then push neutral and push park. So that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. How about downshifting? Because I do a lot of downshifting on mine going down hills.
So that's interesting. So you go to drive, and then you select L, and that's basically your gear range. It's not fully a manual system, but you can tell it you want the 4th gear, for example, to be your highest, or the 3rd gear to be your highest. So that's how you downshift.
So can you pick a gear and stay in it? Say you want to be in 5th.
No, you can
stay.
only tell it what the maximum gear you want.
Oh, so you can't tell it what gear to be in.
Yeah, when it slows down, it still goes 3,
Right,
2, 1.
which mine does, but
Yeah.
but out on the road, I can leave it in third gear if I need to go up a hill.
You could.
Okay.
But you shouldn't need to because you have 420 horsepower.
Well, what about going downhill? It doesn't have a exhaust brake like the Cummins does.
No. So that's when you would use this.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can tell it, I'm going down the mountain. I want to be in 4th gear for the remainder of this trip.
You
down.
can do that.
You could set it 4th gear as the maximum
Okay.
gear, and that's
Nice.
that's what it is.
And
So-
you don't even have to grab the lever to do that. You
No,
can
I
do it by-
wish they kept it.
Well, that's okay. Right
Okay.
there. Yeah,
So-
it's right there in the same spot.
So leather wrapped steering wheel, heads up display.
Oh,
I mean, do you really need the heads up display? I'm not sure.
well, I had it on a Pontiac Bonneville SSEI back in the day. I love that car.
They've had
display.
heads up displays for years.
But my windshield got cracked, and you know how much it cost?
Oh,
Like double.
that's the point. And then this panoramic sunroof.
Ooh, I don't have one of those.
No. Let's close the sun.
That is nice.
So then there's another trick. I don't know if you've seen this, but it has to do with this console. So let me do this.
Oh, wow.
So
That's-
this has multiple purposes. So the rear passenger can reach their cups.
Well, I could see
If-
that. Like if you have a child that is
Yeah.
beating on his brother,
Yes.
I could see
You can kind of try to
yeah,
separate
you
them.
tell him to put his hands between his legs, and you just push this back, and he can't like hit his brother while we're going
Yes.
on a road trip.
And also there's a secret compartment. Look at this. So I don't know, I mean, maybe you put your wallet or something in here and hide it. And then basically you can bring it back. And that's about it. So let's take a look at the rear seats. I mean, look, of course, leather everywhere.
So this is a 7-seater.
Yeah, and this got captains in the middle row. You can get a bench, but you can no longer get a bench in the front. So the 9-person,
It's been that way for a while.
yeah,
hasn't
that's
it?
out of the question now. And you know what else I'm a little sad about?
What?
Heavy-duty Suburbans.
No 2500 Suburbans.
No, not anymore. So remember, like about 3 years ago, the government contract still had heavy-duty based
For the
Suburbans,
Forest Service and
also
Department of
like Secret
Transportation.
Service to
Yep.
protect the president
Oh
and
yeah, you
stuff like
remember?
that.
You remember the movie? Oh shoot! You remember the movie with Harrison Ford?
Oh, Air Force One.
Well, no, the one where they're like in a Colombia somewhere, and they've got 4 of these
Heavy
three-quarter
Suburbans, yeah.
and they're going down the street,
Yeah.
and they all get blown up in them.
Something like this.
Yeah.
So no more of that.
No more of those.
But there is a contract. So General Motors has a GM Defense Department, which they build vehicles for the military and for the government. And the government gave them some money to develop a heavy-duty version of one of these.
So they will have one.
So yeah, in the
For
future. But civilians.
Huh.
What about us?
Yeah, because
So-
there's a lot of people like to go in luxury and tow something.
Yeah.
And you used to see a lot of 3/4 ton Suburbans towing trailers.
Totally. So I want to get back to that in the future. Let me show you in the back and look at the suspension, and then let's take it into the pit.
Okay. You feel comfortable doing that with this 80-some thousand? How much?
86.
Okay.
86,000.
Wow. Okay. Clear and Present Danger. That's the name of the movie. Don't you remember? They're in the Suburbans, and it's like the missiles or shoulder-powered missiles come out and blow them up, and one of them's still driving, and they get out with it.
Yeah,
That's how tough the Suburbans were back. Think this one can do that?
I think so. It'll be faster, probably.
No doubt about that.
So I like this. So they still kept this. You could open this separately. I really like that.
Yep.
What do you think?
No,
I mean, so you can reach in if you have groceries or something.
But this does this have a tailgate?
Yes. Well, it's got a hatch.
No, a hatch. Yeah, this is a hatchback. This is not a tailgate.
Well, it's not a Range Rover, my friend.
I just remember, I had a Land Cruiser before I had 4 kids.
Yeah.
They had the tailgate, and then I had a Suburban that had the tailgate.
Yeah.
Those were cool.
Yeah. Well, this is a little bit different, but you still have a lot of storage. So
That is nice. Yeah.
So I think that that American Suburban just character is still here.
It's still here, sure.
Because you can do this.
All right, so here's the real question I have. When you put those seats down, can I put a 4x8 sheet of plywood in here?
Yes.
I still can?
Yes.
It fits?
Do you have a tape?
I do.
Let's measure. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay. All right, Andre, let's see.
This is the ultimate.
It looks narrow to me, but nope. Hey, it's even got an inch to spare. Look at that. So
Well,
that's real similar to the old Suburban, so they haven't changed that.
Yeah, I think the whole vehicle just got a little bit larger.
So
Let's see where the 8 feet are.
yeah, so the 8 feet is
So
right there.
let's put that down.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, wow. Did you see
Check
that?
that out. Hope we didn't hurt anything.
I think the camera bag might get squished. So now, what about 8 feet now?
Oh yeah.
So I'll bet you could still put your mattress back here, and you could still go to Nebraska and still sleep.
You could. Only there's a little bit of the problem though. What do you do about this area right here that has nothing?
You put a cooler.
Because my mattress is 80 inches long.
You put a cooler there,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
or get a bench.
that's a good idea. A cooler.
A cooler.
We'll get a cooler.
So you can get a sandwich and a Dr. Pepper, right there, right next to your head.
Although I'd say I would never do that to this brand new Suburban. I don't mind doing it to mine, but not this one. All right, let's look underneath this thing.
All right.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I'm really getting in the
So
details on this. This looks a lot different than mine, Andre.
it's insane.
Wow, it's got these great big, like 8-inch big air suspension
Pieces.
thingy-majiggers.
Yeah. So here's the thing: the solid axle is no more.
No, it's just
Yeah.
like the front. It's an independent suspension with the differential, with axles
Yeah.
coming out of
Half shafts.
half shafts coming
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
disc brakes. Yeah,
So the
that's
idea
pretty
was-
fancy. Only problem, look at this though.
What?
That's 6 1/4 inches, Andre.
Off the ground?
Yeah, that's all you got right there.
Oh.
Look at these big bow coming down here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
That kind of limits your.
But maybe I can raise it up a little bit more when we go into Andre's pit.
It's good they have the spare
but-
underneath.
But here's the deal. Here's why they chose this.
Why?
They wanted more interior space, and that solid axle was protruding into the cabin a
Sure.
little bit more.
Yep.
So they wanted to lower the floor, have the comfortable ride. But I think it came at the cost of ground clearance, really.
Hey, how big's that gas tank?
28 gallons.
That's it?
Yeah.
You know how much I have in mine?
How many?
38.
What?
38. And I
This
get
is-
the same mileage as you. I have 10 more gallons. That means I can go 200 more miles almost than yours can.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's take it off road. Okay.
So what color is this, Andre? I love the color of this truck.
On the outside?
Yeah,
Gosh,
it's beautiful.
I don't have the exact
kind of
name
a-
for it.
It's a green.
It's like a teal,
Yeah, like
green.
Uh-huh.
It looks like, the foliage we're next to.
It does. Yeah, kind of almost like sagebrush.
I will look it up and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Because I'm sorry, the sticker doesn't have
I'm
it.
gonna call it sagebrush green.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna do neutral. Neutral right here. I'm gonna turn down our seat chillers because they're kind of loud actually.
Yeah. I
And-
don't need my butt cooled.
Okay, and then I'm gonna switch to 4 low. And look, it's blinking right here. And boom, it's pretty easy. Some other vehicles, you have to like be level or you have to be just in the right place, but this is pretty easy.
So when you switch, it said forward collision system unavailable. Does that mean the airbags won't come on if you hit something?
No, I believe what that means is, the pedestrian protection, so this has automatic systems, like
All the beeping.
all the radar and all the beeping. It's kind of quieting that down.
So you think if we got off the trail and we were four-wheeling, our airbags would still come on?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't plan to have that
Activate
happen.
those?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's get going. So what I love about this though, and I haven't showed that yet, but this does have a hitch, of course.
Uh-huh.
It does have a trailer brake controller. So it's still you know, a lot of new luxury SUVs don't even have brake controllers anymore. You have to buy them afterwards.
It's built to tow.
Yeah, so it still has that character, right?
Right. Even though it's not a 3/4 ton.
Exactly.
It probably tows just as much as the old 3/4 tons, is my guess.
So let me go into off-road mode. So off-road, and I'm gonna raise the suspension.
Oh, sweet.
So here's the thing about suspension raising. The higher you go, you got more ground clearance, obviously, but it becomes a little stiffer.
Stiff. Yeah.
Because the airbags got air now.
Yeah, it doesn't have as
and-
much space to travel.
So I'm gonna go as slowly as you.
It's nice having
I
a
hope.
screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kind
And
of lining us up on the logs, just
And it
perfectly.
also came on by itself.
It did, didn't it? I think it dampens it quite a bit more than mine, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean, we're
yours
still-
kind of hopped once
Yeah.
in a while,
We're
right?
still rocking and rolling, but it seems to be dampened.
and
Not
the
as
other
harsh.
and the other thing, still really good traction.
Yeah, he never
But,
spun.
by the way, this is not a Z71 because they also have a Z71 version.
Yeah.
Obviously, it used to be available in the past too.
And Z71 used to mean it had some off-road capabilities as well as the G80.
Yeah, but you do have a G80 in your old truck.
Yeah, it may have been spec'd without being a Z71.
Yeah. So
Now,
now,
what differential gearing does this one have?
I believe it's a 342.
Okay.
But it's also a really fancy rear differential.
Yeah.
When you were on the ground there, you were looking at it, and it also has these clutches. So it can actually, well, we'll test it. We'll see how it works. But it should give us like a differential locker.
So it's all
feature.
different now.
It's way different. So
Okay.
it's, G80 is no longer here. They still have it in Silverados,
Do
right?
they? Because it's still a solid axle in the back.
But as far as the Suburban is concerned, they have moved on to
So,
something else.
The only pickup that has independent four-wheel suspension that I know of would be the Lightning and the Rivian.
And the Rivian. And you know what else? The new Hummer EV
is
has
fully
independent.
independent.
And that's because electric motors, they stuff down there.
Yeah.
But I'm on 22s. I'm a little nervous that, you know, I have my nice
Yeah,
wheels.
you could scuff those wheels. I like having lots of rubber.
Did you hear that? It's spun.
It's a lot smoother than mine.
But it did spin.
Yeah, 'cause, you
and
know-
it kind
Yeah, on my truck, it kind of spun and then
and
clunk.
then clunk.
Whereas this one, you can hear it trying, then all of a sudden it catches
Yeah, and
a
I
little
think-
smoother.
And I think what's happening also, the brake system is helping it, right?
Yeah, so it's smoother. Doesn't sound as mechanical.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on there. The computer is trying to understand what we're doing,
Right.
and it's trying to use the brakes and also the clutches and all that stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Hey,
there you have it.
they both did it.
Yeah.
No problem. You're just doing it a little more style with leather and the nice looks. And
All right, so
although
let's.
I will take mine for another reason that we haven't even talked about.
Well, let's discuss that outside.
Okay.
All right, David. So, what do you think? Is this going to be your next Suburban? You said you've had 3.
Well, I'm sure if you asked my wife, she would say yes.
Yes.
Right now.
Okay.
But here's my beef with new cars.
Okay.
I mean, not only would I worry about scratching it, I worry about if my grandkids, messed up the interior, and if I spilled a Dr. Pepper in there. With this, I don't worry about it. And here, I want to show you another reason.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it?
So this is the registration on my 01.
You just redid it.
Yeah. What is it? What does it cost per year?
$92.07.
Yeah. So how much did yours cost to register this year?
I don't know, because this belongs to Chevrolet.
Oh,
it's
well.
here on loan. But I do have a new truck, like an F-150 that I have also. And that was over $1,000, I think, for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, but so your argument is used versus new, right?
That's I'll probably never buy new again just because of cost.
But where would you go from here? Maybe like 2010, 2011?
I say I go from here with a new LS. Take this LS and
So
just,
keep the body.
yeah, I have a body. Nothing's wrong with the body.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So keep working on the
I
mechanics
think
on
this
it.
could go till I die.
All right, so it doesn't sound like I can convince you. How about this? How about this? This is a high country, I know, very fancy.
It is.
It's got the nice teal
beautiful.
color.
I love it.
But what if this was an LS? You know, kind of apples to apples. This would be closer to about 65 grand. Still a lot of money, right?
Yeah, you're still not going to convince me because I know that the cost of ownership on an older vehicle is always going to be less, simply because they're much simpler. I mean, I love all this tech.
Well, it's also the value of the vehicle too.
And the value of the vehicle.
This is about 5 grand, right?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if, let's say, you know, I do need a transmission. I mean, that transmission cost me $3,000 to redo. So total cost of ownership, I'm going to stay a used car guy and probably a GM guy for a long time, simply because parts are cheap. You can get it. If you're up in Alaska, you can get this thing fixed at any mechanic. You can find parts for them. So I would love to have something new. I just can't ever see myself buying something new.
Well, let us know in the comments below. What do you think? You know, where do you stand on this? Or is there a happy medium?
Probably.
You know, is there another?
I'm living in the past.
What if this was a diesel?
A 3-liter diesel?
Straight 6? Huh?
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe that would do it.
Okay. Okay, let us know in the comments below what you guys think. And by the way, thanks for doing this.
Oh, it's always fun, Andre.